Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're continuing our suspension work on junk, and as you can see, we finally got the subframe back together using the rack that we got. So we had to do some we had to cut that bushing and slide it in a little bit, and then we used our NRG Tech bracket to mount it. And now that all that's said and done, we got our hardware for the steering shaft. We're ready to get that thing back up and into the car and hopefully done. We'll get the front end all buttoned up, put back together, all of that tonight and today in this video. That's my goal. I did keep myself awake one night with one of those moments where your brain goes, did we tighten that bolt? And we gotta check some stuff. Basically, the lower control arm has some bolts that are looks like I forgot them. These. So they're sleeves. These are metal sleeves that go into where the control arm goes. And I think on one of them I forgot it, and on the other one I actually remembered it. So we're gonna review that real quick and make sure that the sleeve exists in both control arms, because these are kind of critical. So let's double check, and then we'll get to putting it in the car. All right, so right out the gate, the driver's side one does not have it, so we gotta put that in. But then that raises my concern, because there's only 5 in here, which means I'm missing one of the ones. There's 4, but those are for the upper control arms. And I only have one of these, So either I put it in the wrong box when I put back the other ones, which was the shock bushings, which are not in there. I've misplaced it, or I've already installed it. So I'm hoping I already installed it, and we're not sitting here playing the where the hell is my mind game. Alright, good news. All parts are accounted for. That's about the best news I can get all day today. So, now we need to get the subframe in the car. This part's gonna suck. There's no good, bad, ugly about it. It's just gonna suck. It's just flat out gonna suck. Yeah. Alright, can't really tell in there, but it's in. Subframe is in. One of the things I learned from the last time I did this was make sure that your U-joint for the steering is on the rack. Try to get the rack as center as you can, and then when you lift it and you get into the car, that centered where you need it, you get your steering wheel straight to match the rack, and then slide it down to where it's kind of overlapping, and then jam it all the way up and it'll slide right in. So make sure you get that right the first time. Don't do it wrong like me and start driving down the road with your steering wheel half cooked. I gotta torque all that down. I tried looking up on my phone, it's fighting me. I need to eat dinner, so I'm gonna look up torque specs, have it for tomorrow. We'll torque that and start putting in all the other stuff, including sway bar mounts. All right, new day. It's cold. It's been raining all day. Apparently we got some Cali weather coming through. Whatever. We got the subframe mount torqued out to 66 foot-pounds. We just gotta start putting it all back together. Tall order, but we're gonna try and do it. So let's just start doing it. First things first, we gotta suck it up a little bit, and we gotta do some painful work. We gotta get that rear subframe, the rear engine mount bolted up and happy. Let's see what we gotta do. All right, so most of the rear mount is done. The only thing I gotta do is that there's 3 bolts that bolts the mount to the subframe. I just gotta tighten those. We're done. However, we found a leak, and I've been chasing this leak for a while, and in my mind, it's, I think, like when I introduce a leak or when a leak forms, I think that is something that I introduced. So in order to give the turbo oil feed, I added a sandwich plate. I thought the sandwich plate was leaking. I thought the pressure transducer for the oil pressure gauge was leaking. I thought the AN line to the turbo was leaking. I checked everything. I finally got down to the source of it. What it was is the VTEC solenoid doodad. Let's see if I could show you on this. It's on here. So if you look on the back of this motor here, this piece right here is where the VTEC solenoid plugs in. Well, right here is a little oil pressure solenoid that detects that you have oil pressure. That sensor is leaking from the block. Second thing that happened, well, when I went to go pull the thing off, it ripped the wire. So now I gotta find this. All right, that's gonna be a side quest for another day, because right now we're just trying to get this thing on the ground. And I have to take off the sandwich plate, which means we need to drain the oil, which means we need to do that anyway, so that's another day. We'll deal with that later. Alright, so now I gotta look up torque specs to get the whole front end finished, and then we gotta tear apart the oil cooler and stuff. We'll do the oil cooler in another video, because that's, we gotta do some tear down on that just to get it to stop leaking, because it's not even that, it's just that sensor. But now subframe's been swapped out, suspension's like new except for the struts. We gotta tighten those 17s in the rear. This needs to do the brakes. But before we can finish everything here and start torquing stuff, we need to finish what we're doing. So that's where we go to these Moog outer tie rods. The ad or the box or whatever, the thing I bought it from on Amazon said these were made in China. Check this out. Made in the USA, baby. These are American-made Moog parts. So these are good ones. These are just some beefy boys, and they have Zerk fittings on them. So, like the patented Moog problem solver stamp on here. But they're greasable, which is kind of the coolest part about it. So we gotta figure out which one's which. I'll put the links in the description for this stuff if you want to check it out. I got it on Amazon. Good stuff. But we're gonna get the captive nut on it and start getting this stuff installed. Alright, so both tie rods are done, control arms are done, sway bars done, pretty much everything over here is done. And that officially completes the stupid BS we've been working on since, when did I start all this? We've been working on this for like 2 months. A little over a month, let's be real. A little over a month. Now we just gotta put everything back together. The downpipe needs to go back in, no big deal. But we do need to work on that other situation. Let's talk about what we experienced when we were doing all this. So there's a ton of loose crap. There was countless bolts underneath the car that were loose. So I'm really gonna spend some time and I'm gonna torque all this stuff properly. Last time I feel like I kind of got lost and I didn't do the right things. So I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna figure out exactly what we need to torque. and I'm gonna torque them, but I'm not gonna film it because then I'll feel rushed. So I'm just gonna torque them and we'll be done with that. The only thing we need to do left on this car is seat belts, door panels, cage, boost controller, windows regulator, and locks. I ordered the locks. I have manual window regulators sitting on top of the car with the handles. We're gonna drive this damn thing. This, like, hopefully by the end of the month, I'm gonna drive to work. So, all right, that's gonna do it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you later. Goodbye.